Please be advised Mental Health Mondays deals with some heavy topics and subjects such as mental health, suicide, sexual assault and more. Please listen at your own discretion and please seek professional help if you are struggling. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Nuggiez Podcast and another episode of Mental Health Mondays. Today, I have a really special guest with me, one of my closest friends who I've known for like eight years or something now, something along those lines. I will hand it over to her to introduce herself and plug herself a bit, and we'll get into it.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenet and I have been friends with Ebony obviously for a long time, but I've been content creating for about 8 years now. So mainly it started off as fashion and then I don't know how long it's been, but I've been putting in skincare and a bit of lifestyle stuff, and only like a few years ago I was diagnosed with had general anxiety for a long time, but about when COVID started, my anxiety was through the roof, and obviously depression was really high, and I was obviously at a bad point in my life. Obviously, we're all going through something at that time, but I was at a bad point in my life that I was obviously suicidal. So, but thanks to friends of like Ebony and that, I've obviously stuck around. I can see I'm seeing her as I'm saying this, and she looks so happy. Oh, that better. Anyway, so yeah, and I've not as bad as I don't think I've ever as bad as I was. I'm not in that headspace anymore. However, I am working on it. I'm much better than I was. I gotta say, and I think a lot has got to do with like. I'm very independent. Okay, so background story, I'm Muslim. So in Albanian, being Albanian as well, the culture, they don't like to admit that there's a mental health issue when there's a problem. They like to I wouldn't say my family, but I know a lot of them like to not admit that there's something wrong. So I didn't want to obviously accept it that I had, really bad depression, and I was at the highest, and my anxiety was really high. So I didn't want to admit that, but I'm like, I just have to do it. I have to look after myself, and I have to focus on getting better. Like, this is obviously a real situation. So yeah, and then 2020 came around. Obviously, had depression was really high, and we're in lockdown, and I decided to do fasting 30 days, which I'm currently doing now. So pretty much, if you're not familiar, it's before sunrise and sundown, no water, and it's a dry fast, and it's 30 days. So it is intense, but it is, when you leave that, it's such a great feeling. And I thought I'd try it because I've never tried it. And when I got asked to do it when I was younger, I was like, no, I can't do it. But I never really tried. I was like, come try with me, we'll do it together. So long story short, I did it obviously, and it was I felt like, I said to my mum, I felt such a I've never felt so happy in my life. Like, that's the happiest I've been before everything's happened. And me to say that's a lot.
Did you find, for me, obviously, it started when I was really, really young.
Yeah.
And you don't really know it's depression or anxiety back then, but something's up.
Yeah.
So do you find that because of the faith background that you may have been going through something like that when you were younger but wouldn't have known because it was pushed aside and hidden? Or do you think it was something that it came to you later on in life due to certain circumstances?
I did think I had something when I was younger. A friend into someone that I used to hang out with, and she said to me, I used to cry randomly. So like that could be, obviously that is, when you cry, obviously there's a chemical imbalance there. But I wouldn't say it was really bad, but it was there.
Something was definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think my anxiety was really bad. It's like I wasn't anxious for a long time. But when obviously my father passed away, and that kind of brought that up 100%. And I was depressed, but that was easily like not an issue. That wasn't, it was anxiety, because it was obviously, post-traumatic syndrome kind of thing. I saw a lot of that. But I don't think it was depression at all. It was very much anxiety. But again, that went away after a few years. And then I got made redundant. That came back up again. Again, depression wasn't there. It was just anxiety. But once COVID came in and was full lockdown, couldn't see anyone. I couldn't see Dad, and that was really the hardest thing. Like, that's what made me, like, broke down. And I take it. I couldn't even think of continuing on if I couldn't see Dad. Like, it's not, just like.
Well, it would have been routine for you because you'd always gone to see the site. Yeah.
And just cleaning it up, checking the soil, like, not that the soil goes down or anything, but, like, just checking, see if it's okay. And that's something that I always want to do. And I said to my mum, I'm going to make that promise. I've always said I'm going to look after my parents, and that's, even if they're dead, I'm still going to do it. And that's what I'm always going to do. I've, like, mental health is obviously in the family. And I think with me having that, she was able to recognize that she's got some of those qualities.
Yeah.
And she's not that to say that she's going to go take tablets, but she knows now the characteristics and the things,
warning signs sort of thing.
But like, yep, she sends, or she says a few, religious things, and she just gets back and centers down, and she feels better.
So is that something that you guys are able to talk about now, or still, because of the religious background, she's accepting it but still standoffish sort of thing?
Nah, she's 100% into it now. She gets it. I don't think it's like, I spoke to a few people. I don't think it's a religious thing. I think it's more of a cultural thing. The women really, especially my mum's generation, they're really shy of feelings and emotions, and all they were housewives, as we discussed this. And and I don't think it's a religious thing. I think it's more of a cultural thing. Less than men, and that's what the men think anyway. We're not strong, or we're not anything like that, but obviously we are far from that. We are opposite of that. And having me in the family as well, I remind her of that as well. Because I'm very, like, opinionated, and I'm independent, and, like, obviously very independent, and she's very shy, and I go, I'm not made any differently because I'm like this. It's just the way I am. And I'll go to things differently than she has, but she's like, and she gets it now, why, like, my mental health and that. Like, at the start she didn't get it, but then I had a good talk to her, and I go, look, I have to figure this out. Like, this is something I have to do. Like, I don't want to be, like, I'm still single, obviously, and I want to be at least figured out in my brain before I meet someone.
Yeah, you want to be in a decent headspace before you start bringing someone else in.
Yeah, and I don't want to put that guy through it,
No, yeah.
But, and
I think that's something that's held you back when it comes to dating, is the mental health side of things. Yeah.
I've realized, it was a recent one. I realized it was just, I said to him I had issues, and he's like, no, that's okay. Like, I respect that. But I didn't deal with it properly, and I'm like, I should handle that better. Like, exciting, like, I'm like, freak, But anyway, long story short, we're not talking anymore. But it is what it is. He wasn't obviously strong enough to understand that. But
and that's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand, is that unless you're dealing or have dealt with someone close to you that's going through mental health, it's not an easy thing to deal with.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of pressure onto the other person to be able to understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
And be there for you.
But I'm so glad, like, I've got you as a friend, and you obviously get it. That's true though. Yeah, like,
really just a plug for our friendship. Fuck the podcast.
No, seriously though, like, I don't think I say it enough, but yeah, I do appreciate it in so many ways. You know, and I've got heaps of friends that are similar, so, which is good. But yeah, I like going back on the discussions with Mum, but yeah, she gets it now, like, which I'm really happy. Like, I got her thinking about it, and she's like, look, you have been exposed to a lot of in life than most people have, you know.
Yeah.
She's I'm not gonna say anything bad. She goes, but I just want you to be okay. She goes, I don't want you to, like, you know, at the end of the day, those thoughts are not, they're not real. Like, she goes, they're just thoughts. They're just, and she goes, you're dealing with it. You're learning to do things for yourself religiously. She goes, and you know what you need to do. She goes, but end of the day, they're just thoughts. I don't want you to take them too seriously, you know. So
have you found, like, for me personally, I found other ways of dealing with the depression and anxiety through lockdown with anything, because obviously you can't go out and do anything.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you reckon you've come across now or possibly during lockdown? Because for those of you who don't know, we're both from Melbourne, and we had the most ridiculous overstayed lockdown you can think of.
Yep.
That you don't think you would have found otherwise? Like, is there something that you've come across or something that you think has helped handle things differently or better or even worse?
I stuck in lockdowns, perfectly. But I do keep in contact with everyone, like, as much as I can. That's my best advice. I do see them. I do drive past and be like,
hello, I'm here. I still live.
But like, yeah, I do as much. I try not to get on social media as much as, like, I try to do what I got to do and then get off it. At the start, I was like really watching everything and went on that crazy path that way at that time. But now I'm like, I don't even watch it. I just do my thing, do what I can do, what I want to do. Like, there's always something that, like, okay, so now obviously we're out of lockdown, so we're able to go do all these things that we can do. Was things there just in case if we do get back in lockdown. I know I want to do that.
Yeah,
I could go online, do it, build, like, let's say, finish my wardrobe, buy it off IKEA, get it done. But
it's like you've put it aside for a rainy day sort of thing. Like, it's stuff that needs to be done, but in the not off chance being Melbourne, and the chance that we go into lockdown again, it's there, it's ready to go.
So that's the plans are there. They're just ready for when we get back in. So I've done stuff like that, and I've done a lot of non-social media stuff. So I bought some, like, crossword stuff, and I've showed you crossword. I'm buying novels as well, so I can start reading again. No specific genre, just easy reading. I talk to a lot of family overseas because they're pretty much worse than us as well. So So I just do that general stuff just to get a day goes by. Yeah.
So you found being having, because I don't have, as you know, but as others don't, I don't have family that I know overseas. So obviously with you having family overseas, have you found that this has brought you guys closer because you're checking in on each other more, or not really?
Yeah, I'd say closer. Like, it's kind of made me go, oh my God, I really want to travel. Like, I just want to go see them, because the last time I was there, I was 9. So that's obviously only 30 years ago now.
That's Albania itself?
Yeah, Albania and Macedonia.
Yep.
And some are in Turkey and, like, Sweden and
I didn't know Sweden.
Yeah.
Oh, even I'm learning stuff here.
Yeah, I've got a lot, but yeah. But yeah, so there's so many things that we like. They tell me a lot of things and they educate me on things, and just good to see like family stuff that we probably wouldn't usually have the chance to do it. I can do it in lockdowns, that's the only way. But yeah, take it as it comes, I guess, but see what happens.
So with the circumstances of your dad passing away and whatnot, which was before lockdown,
way before,
have you easier now to discuss the circumstances around your dad passing and any mental health that may be linked to that, or have you it's just it is what it is and you've had to deal with it? Does that make sense?
Bit of both. Yeah, I've got a lot of trauma from that, I'd say. Yeah, obviously had cancer and the crap that we had to see with that. But and being pretty much the only one there every day for a long time was really hard on my mental health. But I'd say it's both. So I do see a lot of my mental health issues linked to that time, but I've slowly letting them go. I think time is just swallowing it. But I do see things that I'll just deal with it. But I don't see a lot of it's linked to that. Not a lot anymore. Before, yes, but not so much now.
Was he someone that, like, obviously the cultural difference and the age difference, was he one to also put that sort of stuff aside, or did he open up about that sort of stuff?
He opened up, but I didn't really have bad mental health back then anyway. Like I was pretty good back then. It's only after him it just skyrocketed.
So he wouldn't talk about it like with himself or other family members or anything like that?
We didn't really have like I'm pretty much the only one in the family that's had the most.
Okay, so your siblings haven't really, as far as you're aware of, haven't really had or spoken about anything.
He took every illness as seriously, but he was pretty open-minded, I've got to say. Like even when I talk about him like as passing, or if I say circumstance, I'm like, oh, my dad would say this, oh, my dad would do that. Everyone's like, wow, he sounds so open-minded. I'm like, he really was. Like I don't think he will ever shy from mental health. So if I told him I'm literally suffering, like not now, previously, but if I told him and I'm thinking like this, I'm thinking like that, he would help me. 100%.
He'd help, yeah. We interrupt this podcast for a quick promo break, but don't stress, we'll be back soon.
Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And we've brought you a show all about the occult.
We're talking different lores and mythology.
Yes, creature features, cryptids, aliens, you name it, we'll cover it.
Conspiracy theories.
Absolutely.
And pagan holidays and 100%,
practices. All 8 of them. Yes.
Spiritual living, you name it.
That's right. We've got it for you. So if you want, come sit with us for a spell and let us make you laugh.
We are Witches Talking Tarot.
Thanks, everybody.
I still want to roll another blunt. Like, I hear that. That's welcome to the PnM Podcast. That's how it goes. Sometimes you want to roll another blunt. Sometimes you want to pour another shot. Light one up with us. Pour a shot with us, because I'm going to pass it to you eventually. And if it's not lit, then I'm going to tell you, hey, light yours.
Because I'm a light mind. I think that's pretty cool.
You can only find that on PnMPodcast.com. Let me tell you that again, because I don't think you heard it. PnMPodcast.com.
Stacy.
As a podcast listener, you love to listen. So imagine if you could listen seamlessly throughout every room of your home, your office, your business, or even outside by the pool. With Dio, you can. Connected through Wi-Fi, Dio Speakers provide a high-quality audio, no matter if it's music, podcasts, books on tape, you name it. I can walk in the front door, go downstairs in my basement, and then go all the way up to my bedroom and not have to worry about any adjustments to the audio. Dio speakers are so unique, they're actually compatible with other brand speakers. So you could have 5 Dio speakers all across your home, and you can add other brands of speakers that are compatible with Dio. The price of Dio speakers is actually 60% lower than an entry-level Sonos speaker. Installing the speakers takes less than a minute. You can play any audio from your Apple devices simply using AirPlay 2. So what are you waiting for? To use our discount, check out dioconnect.com/blindknowledge. That's dioconnect.com/blindknowledge. Dio, the way to go.
See, that wasn't too long. Now back to the episode.
I think that's the biggest thing is that with everyone and everything going on, you need a good support system. And a lot of people don't have that, but you and I, especially, we're very lucky to have that support system with ourselves as well as with those around us. Because as you said before, like both of us went through some serious shit through lockdowns. And all we did was send each other shit the whole time.
Yeah. The cat TikToks? Was it cat memes?
It was cat TikToks and memes, and then we've also physically sent stuff. So like I've sent you gifts and you sent me gifts, and I think we're very lucky in that regard.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you've got a friend like how we've got, then you just hold on to them for dear life, really.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's something that a lot of people took for granted before lockdown, and now it's really come to terms as to how much people mean to each other, not being able to see them.
That's it. But yeah, I'm much better than I was. But yeah, I've still got working on things. I think so I spoke to an old boss that I used to, obviously old boss. We caught up for lunch one day, and she was talking and she agreed, and she said I didn't deal with Dad's death very well. Like it was the first of things for me. Like death related. Like I experienced a lot of life and hardship in relationships, and I've been in abusive relationships and everything, but that was the hardest in regards to death or losing someone close to me. Like I've lost uncles, grandfathers, grandmothers. It didn't faze me, but like it hurt, but it was nothing like I didn't have to see it every day.
Yeah.
But dad dying and not seeing him every day really got me really bad.
Yeah.
I was very close to him. Like we pretty much the same personality wise, like very independent, very know what we want, go getters, open-minded, respectful, and very like kind, but also get on the bad side, don't go there. But we're very much the same that way. And I found that's one of the reasons why I found it so hard, because I love my mum, but she's the opposite of me. Like she's soft, she's endearing, like she's a mum, and I love her, but yeah, she's opposite of me. So where I lack, she makes up for.
Yeah. And do you because I know for me personally, I've been on and off different meds most of my life when it comes to this sort of stuff. I know you've recently sort of dabbled in and out of different meds or particular meds. Have you found that that's sort of helping you or not really? Because I know everyone tends to react or have a different view and opinion when it comes to medications and mental health.
I think they work. It depends on your I really didn't want to go down the med. Like I really struggled with that. When she said to me, you got to go on the medication, I was like, huh? Like I did not want to go. Yeah. I take it, but because my mind is at that place where I'm like, I really can't, it's not fixing itself kind of thing. Like I took it in my stride, if that makes sense. Yep. Like, yep, I can, I'm able to snap out of it. I'm able to fix myself. I'm able to change my mindset. I'm able to meditate. I'm able to do anything.
So you saw it as it was almost like concealing it as opposed to actually helping it. Like it was hiding it away.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do I have to take the medication? Like, she goes, you have to, because it's, you have to think, like your mind's, she goes, when you have those thoughts, that's when your mind is like, yeah. I knew that would help, and I've seen a lot of friends that took them, but I saw a lot of people that got to their great meds and they were really good, but I saw when they didn't work or when they weren't matched well or they weren't at their right grades, and I'm like, I can't be like, I want to be at a good place. I just want to be really like good mindset.
It's so hard to tell because like you don't know how it's going to affect you until you start them. But then there's always that transitional period of like a week or so before they properly start to work, and you're like, fuck, you feel like shit, and it's like, is it worth it? And
that's pretty much
through that week.
So I tried one tablet at the start, and I just felt so ill, like I just didn't feel great. And she else, and they've been working okay. That combined with like meditation, I was still learning religiously how to pray and stuff, and that's kind of like a meditation as well. So that, and even stuff like so what I've been doing with Mum is we're learning how to like gratitude lists, if it makes sense. So like, you know, obviously close friends, we've got each other, roof over our heads, we've got food on the table, like things like that, just to get that mindset back into how I used to be, because I was really like straight down the line. I was really happy, and like I was never like, I would never say I wouldn't say I had mental health issues back in the day, you know, like they were just there. But like if something was bad would happen, yes, but they were never every day. There wasn't every day. But now, like, I mean, I'm nowhere near as bad. It's taken me a long time. Like, I laugh more now. Like I smile more now. Like I'm finding joy for in again. Which is, but I'm nowhere near as bad. But yeah, medication has helped. But also I'm doing other things as well. Like obviously, like I said, praying and meditation and stuff. Meditating. That's helping as combined together.
Speaking of the praying and such, because when we first met and we first started, like the friendship started, you know, you've always been open about your cultural and religious background, but you've never really properly not stuck to it, but you know what I'm saying, like you weren't like attached I am this or that. And going through lockdown and such, it's definitely the religious background has definitely blossomed more, I would say, than it was beforehand. Would you say that's helped or hindered or changed anything in relation to the way you view or see mental health?
No, I think it's actually because in Islam, like they see mental health now because they know that the current situation, the current world, it is quite stressing, and the current climate of the way the world is, like in governments and everything else, they take it pretty seriously, and they're trying to encourage like the young Muslims, like say, hey, do this, do that, try this, try that. So they do see it as a serious thing as well, as anything else, like cancer. They do take it seriously, which is good. I wouldn't say Albanians, they'll never will. It's going to time. Actually, like you know yourself, my mum and my I don't know about my dad, but my mum's very open-minded and quite lucky. Like that's why I'm like that. But we're quite lucky that I was able to talk to her about it. I feel like Albanians don't take it so much seriously. We're just lying about it, or you know, it's another thing, or like it's not. But
sort of like an excuse, like you feel like this way, so you got to blame it on mental health.
Lie down, go have a nap and come back, you know, like, or
you'll be fine, shake it off. There's nothing I hate more than that.
Kind of ADHD, babe, but that's actually not that's the mental health. That's why I'm kind of happy that like I'm very opinionated, as we all both know, but I talk about it on my page and my Instagram, like to say mental health is actually a serious issue. Like I say, like, but it is an actual issue. Yeah, as someone like myself, you know, that is a serious thing, and we need to talk about it. So that's why I do talk about it. And I did like a poll ages ago. Do you guys see me as a mental health advocate? And that like 100% all said yes, which is great. So I do talk about it a lot on there too. Because
obviously, with that being said, like with them having that 100% seeing you, then that's so I assume you'd find that having that social media outlet and platform has helped as well, and that you've got that extra support. As much as you don't know the people, they've still gone through similar or similar circumstances to where they can still reach out and you can help and they can help, sort of thing. So you get that interaction.
The engagement, but as like someone that's outside, I think that does help, you know, as you know.
So obviously you've found that social media as an extra support system, it's an extra support group. Have you had anyone that's like, when you post stuff like that, been negative or just standoffish because you've posted it?
I found out some tea through family that they don't say anything via DMs, but they have been saying to this person that, yeah, I'm completely sure about that. Again, it's a cultural thing. Because like I said, 100%, like.
So they're watching, like they've got someone watching that goes back to them sort of thing?
Yeah, like they're watching what I do and what I say about it, and then they're like, oh, she said that,
Or gossip sort of thing.
Pretty much. They're always going to talk about me. I've done more things than most of them. So as a cultural thing, I think that's where it stems from. And I think mostly embarrassed to shame the culture, like they're embarrassed what the culture is going to say.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, that's what it comes down to, especially as European, they definitely worry what people are going to say if they have got depression or anxiety. But it's so common now, like people don't realize the telltale signs, like the signs of anxiety. That's a general anxiety disorder. It's general anxiety. That's why everyone has it. It's pretty common now. Like,
I mean, that was one of the reasons why I started this. It was like the stigma around mental health, even today in 2022, is just ridiculous. Like, so many of us are dealing with different things, but yet it's still taboo, and it shouldn't be. We should all be talking about it because we can all help each other.
Well, I say to them to the face, I go, like, look, I think as a culture, we definitely need to talk about it. And then obviously they're like, yeah, but obviously no. But I know, like, I just find that, and it's going to sound rude. This is really going to sound rude. But I feel like when they're ignorant, they're not going to want to know better. They're not going to want to do better or learn better. And obviously, I'm not ignorant and I'm open-minded. I'm obviously very open about that. And I think we all should learn every perspective, and including mental health. And if someone's feeling a certain way and why they're feeling a certain way about a situation or just about themselves, we're going to find out why. And they don't think like that. So
have you found family members that are in and around your age are similar though, or they're still, because of the culture that they've been brought up in, it's still very standoffish? Very standoffish.
There's some, I think if they're not ignorant and they're educated, they're fine. Not some of the smartest person in the world, but unless I'm open-minded about things. And for someone that's like, to be fair, I don't think I would have been so bad if Dad didn't die. With all that stuff then. But if he didn't, I don't think I'd be able to pick up my pieces, because there was an end to that. It made it worse. But like I said, if they're ignorant, they don't want to learn, and that's pretty much the consensus of them.
I think that's most people. Like, regardless of culture, like as soon as they're in a certain mindset and they don't want to learn, there's no point.
And I'm like, if you don't want to learn, I'm not wasting my time if you don't want to learn. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So that's pretty much it. But I try not to like associate myself as 100% Albanian, because I brought up in Australia. Like, I'm Australian, and my mum agrees because she's more Australian. Like, you saw her. She speaks Australian. Like, I wouldn't classify her as Albanian. Like, she can speak it, but end of the day she goes, I'm more Muslim than Albanian. Like, that's my religion. That's what I attach to. She goes, I can say Arabic words. She goes, like that shows a lot. She goes, I don't think I can associate myself as I say for myself, I can't say that I'm Albanian, because Albanians are ignorant. Like, I find the ones that I know, I find that they just don't want to learn. It's a cultural thing, 100%. And like, if I speak to someone that's educated, that's Muslim as well, that's like, you say Arabic, Lebanese, any nationality, they're still open-minded about mental health, and I take it seriously as well. So it's definitely just a cultural thing. They just don't want to be, I don't know if they think it's a shame or something, I'm not sure. But that's the way they think. But they do have it themselves, but they just don't want to admit that they have it. I can see the signs of them when I'm there talking to them. Like, they'll get anxious about something, or they get really stressed, and I'm like, oh, it's anxiety. But
speaking of gratitude that we we're talking about before, because we're going to slowly wrap this up, I would like to do at the end of my episodes 3 things I'm thankful for, whether it be today or in general.
Yep.
So with that being said, what are your 3 things that you would like to say gratitude for?
Obviously for my friendship with you, I'm not just saying that, but like I've got a lot of I've this year I said to you and a lot of friends, this year's going to be my year. I'm going to focus all about me. I'm trying to lose weight. Like I got to fix my mental health, or at least alter it, in a way that I can manage it. And I'm learning to pray, and I'm finding all these things. So I'd say my friends now are my bestest friends I've had in a long time. So it's you and a few others. I don't have a lot. I try to keep my circle small, but you're one of them, obviously. So, and I say my friends. Second is obviously my mum, because, like, again, she's amazing. Like, I'm down, she's up. She's down, I'm up. Like, we're just yin and yang, like, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like, we're literally, what I miss, she covers in, and what she lacks, I get in. Like, this is like a perfect match, mother-daughter relationship. I'd say yes, my mum, and I say me.
It makes sense.
My personality, as a person, obviously, makes, like, I wish there was more out there like that. There probably is, but like more determined, more. I'm grateful that it's me. Like, I am this person. I am who I am today. Am I making sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who I am today, I'm grateful for. So who I am as an individual, as a woman, like, educated, trying to build a platform, like, fixing her mental health, networking like no tomorrow, working full time, is still, like, I'd say my personality, who I am as a person now, is who I'm thankful for.
No, it makes complete sense. So for me, it would be my job, because I know a lot of people who've lost their job through COVID and lockdown. Second would definitely be the same. Friendship, 100%. We're very similar in that regard, that we don't have a huge friends group, but the group we do have is very dear to us, including ourselves.
Yes.
And the third thing I would say, my niece and nephew, I reckon.
Oh, that's so cute. I know. Being an auntie is the best.
As you know, like, I'm not having kids, but I love them to pieces, like they're my own. So I'll give that for number 3.
Nah.
So
being an auntie is the best.
It is, isn't it?
I love it.
It's so good.
I've got so many stories about it.
So with that being said, we're gonna wrap up. So where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram as Elegance Of She. I'm also on TikTok. I'm also on YouTube as well.
And you're all under the same bracket, isn't it? It's all Elegance Of She, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
you. And talk to you for the first time in forever because of lockdown.
I know.
With that being said, I am going to end the episode. So thank you so much.
No, thanks for including me. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Mental Health Mondays. If you or anyone you know has a story to tell, whether that is mental health related or even just an anecdote for my other episode in the week, Sweet and Sour Nuggiez, please get in touch with us via email or via our social links. You can find us on both Twitter and Instagram at @SSNuggiezPod, that is SSNUGGIEZ pod, or you can email us at nuggiezpod@gmail.com. Once again, this has been your host, Ebony, and thank you for listening.